Day long into Power Hour. This is qualifying for the Friday race. It's going to be a lot of fun today, Jim. Who are you looking forward most to see?
There's so many heavy hitters out here today, and let's not forget the heavy hitters. We've got so many new guns as well coming into action. So it's going to be great to see what happens out here. That course is hot. We saw some fantastic times yesterday with EMC, and it's going to be fantastic to see what they can do out there on the course with these big 4400 class cars.
And these are some of our current kings are going to be qualifying today. And like you just said, there's a lot of new guys coming out. There's a lot of new cars. It's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. I'm excited. This is why we're here. These are the 4400 Unlimited Big Boys, and these guys are going to be throwing all on the line to be qualifying today for Friday's big race. And this year, there's a lot of money on the line. There's $125,000 on Friday's race in cash prizes.
A life-changing sum of money right there. But we've got the Eternal Battle comes back today. IFS, solid axle, and of course we've got some new full independent suspension vehicles with the likes of Jordan Pellegrino coming out here with a very special car, and of course we've got Cody Wagner with his old car as well. So it's going to be great to see what people can do on this course. Now, yesterday we saw times around the sort of 2-minute 40 zone. Where are you reckoning we're going to be today?
I mean, Casey Gilbert threw down, that 237, if I'm not mistaken, and so I'm going to say 225 are going to be the top guys in the 4400 class.
Yeah, and last year it was really interesting. We always expect the fastest time to come from Power Hour, but last year it didn't. Last year it came from Paul Herschel. Paul Herschel absolutely smashed it out of the park, came in with a lightning fast time that held all day. Is that going to happen again?
It's very possible, and he's got a brand new 2-seat IFS car that he built, designed by himself, and that is a work of art, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I was talking to him just the other night in the pits, checking out the new car. It's an absolute work of art, and he's going to be pushing hard. He wants the clean air. But then you talk to some other people like Jason Shear, he wants to be up front. Lauren Healy wants to be up front, but they don't necessarily want to be that #1 contender because on Friday they leave in 30-second increments, so it's on corrected time, and there's a lot of pressure out there when it comes to that. So it's going to be interesting to see. Some people are going to give it 110%, other people are going to be about that 85%.
And we've also got to look at the form book as well. Things have changed since last year. The dominancy at the top of certain drivers has dropped away, and we saw JP Gomez. He's our driver of the moment. He's got 2 wins back-to-back, and he's looking for his hat trick and his first win at KOH.
Yeah, and there's 3 of those Gomez brothers out here racing today, and they have a lot of fun racing each other, and they give each other a lot of grit and grime all over the race course. It'll be a lot of fun to see.
Now, the interesting thing about the Gomez brothers is there's always that bit of needle, always that bit of fun, but I've never seen them as relaxed as they are this year. I've been over in that pit chatting away to them, and they just look so relaxed, so happy, so calm, and they're very comfortable with these cars. These cars are now over 3 years old. They know every little thing about them. They know how to drive the wheels off them. So they're going to be the ones to watch as well. Then, of course, we've got the Campbells. We've got Shannon, a 3-time king. We've got Wayland, and we've got Bailey. Bailey picked up a new car last year. She hasn't been having the smoothest of runs, so could this be the race where it all comes together for the young lady?
There's a lot of good cars out here, and I just see Cody Addington. He's going to be in our first hour this morning, and I think he's going to have a great run this morning. So if he can throw down that run he's looking for, he'll be able to put that time down early for everybody else to chase. There's Jason Waits lining up. There's a lot of fast guys today. It's going to be a lot of fun. There'll be a lot of action, so stay tuned in for sure.
It's worth noting that Cody Addington is driving the original Red Dragon, which was Lauren Healy's car. That car dominated for a couple of seasons, but was never ever particularly good at KOH week. So is that going to change with a different pilot? We've been talking to people about Cody Addington's style. Some people are saying he's driving too hard. Some people are saying he's driving better than Lauren. So it's going to be really interesting to see what he can do with Red Dragon. Okay, here we go. We've got the first car off the line. It's 1:10.14, Josh Markey, and he's our leading 4400 class competitor, and he's roaring off up through the short course at Hammertown.
So we are hot and heavy for qualifying for the 4400 class for the 2019 Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by Optima battery. These guys are qualifying for their big race on Friday. And he's upside down in the infield. Takes a tumble in the Talladega turn. There at the Steal It
Now, I was chatting to Ian about this yesterday, and we were saying it's amazing that we hadn't seen any rollovers on that short course. And our first car out of the blocks today watts it up and sticks it straight on his side on the second set of bends.
So tough break for him. So these big turns, they're very dug out already. It's a big berm on there, so he threw in a little too much, caught an edge, and bicycled up, upside down.
We're truck and Jeep experts and have been for over 50 years. From wheel and tire upgrades to full custom builds, 4WP has you covered. Whether you want to order the best parts online or shop in store, do the work yourself, or get it done by a pro, all roads lead to 4WP. Do your rig right. Shop online or find your store at 4WP.com.
We didn't just test the new Optima Yellow Top with Pure Flow technology, we tortured it. King of the Hammers is 181 battery-killing miles of relentless, unforgiving hellishness. It's one thing to call yourself the ultimate power source. It's another thing to prove it. The all-new Optima Yellow Top with Pure Flow technology with up to 3 times the battery life. Unsurpassed performance built to fit today's vehicles. Optima, the ultimate power source.
Welcome back to Hammertown. We're hot and heavy. Just started qualifying for the 4400 class. I'm Miles Hasquis alongside Jim Marsden. It's going to be a fun, long day of qualifying.
It's going to be a fantastic day, mate. The sun is shining. We've got a few clouds in the sky. It's a perfect day for qualifying, and we've got some amazing vehicles out here. First car left the line this morning was Josh Markey, and he's already stuck it on his side on the short course. Now, we didn't see any rolls in that short course yesterday. Are we going to see more of that this today? With these, let's be honest, the 4400s are the cream of the crop. They're the faster cars. So we're going to see people pushing so hard that we're going to see more rollovers?
It's very possible. Yeah, they're leaving it all on the line to qualify good for Friday's big race. So it's going to be very interesting. Up next should be Nicholas Montador. And it's...
No, Nicholas Montador's come all the way over from France. Unfortunately, he blew an engine yesterday, and they're just working very hard at the moment to get that engine into that vehicle. And let's hope, fingers crossed, that he can get here before 3 o'clock and get a chance at qualifying.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Jim. And if he's the same guy I'm thinking about, did he borrow a motor from the Gomez brothers?
Yeah, he was actually looking at a motor from the Gomez brothers who, let's not forget, Ultra 4 is a huge family. It doesn't matter which part of the world you're from, everyone wants to help you get on that race course. And the Gomez brothers offered him an engine, but he's gone for a different unit from a different area. He's more comfortable with that, and he's trying to fit that at the moment. So fingers crossed, Nicholas Montador from France can get his rig fixed and he can get out here for qualifying. But if we look back down the list, we've got more people, Miles, of interest. Running out in 4th position today, we've got a guy called Inaki. Inaki's out of Spain, but he's going to be running Casey Curry's old solid axle car. Let's not forget that car is a frequent finisher here at King of the Hammers. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Spanish ace Inaki performs out there on the course.
we have Brent up here with 4-Wheel Parts. You guys have really stepped up your game this year. How's everything going?
Going really good. Yeah, we've definitely come out and got all the parts you guys need. If anything breaks, we have daily deliveries. So, man, we are so excited to be a part of this year. And the weather has cleared out. What an amazing week.
Yeah, we just want to thank you guys for being such a big part for the 4-Wheel Parts Everyman Challenge. I saw you walking by. Thanks for coming up and chat. Good luck in qualifying today.
Thank you very much. I'm going to be up here smiling.
So off the line, I believe that's Hilton. He's in the short course. This is right where Josh took a tumble. Let's see if he can keep it on all fours. He does. He rails the corner, heading out towards the 4-Wheel Parts rock section. There's some whoops right after this little jump. So this is the same exact qualifying run they ran yesterday for the 4-Wheel Parts Everyman Challenge. I believe it's right around 1.7 mile loop for this qualifying run. And I believe riding with Quentin is James King. He's one of our volunteers, has been helping us all week, so it's cool to let him hop in a car and have a little fun, take a little break from working so hard out here.
Yesterday, Miles, we saw the back end of this course cutting up really badly. It's going to be interesting to see how these 4400 class cars deal with that. Let's not forget they're running bigger tyres, they're running sticky tyres, and they also tend to have a higher horsepower as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they cope with that, particularly at the back of short bus. Now, we saw some of the top runners, they were blowing out that bottom line. It was causing them some difficulties, they were losing momentum. Is that something that could be happening to our top runners today?
Time will tell for sure. The course is going to be chewed up, but they worked on it quite a bit last night and this morning and everything all smoothed up. But there's a lot of big rocks out there. There's the ruts on the backside. You can't get a dozer to some of that area, so it'll be very interesting to see how it plays out. So Quentin Hilburn still on his run. And now we're going to take two out on course. That's Jeff McKinley. We have our KMC clock there on the bottom. They built an awesome little short course with a couple little tabletops, some big berms. These guys can really rail the infield. Right there's a nice steel-it tabletop. And then through a little loop section. Jeff McKinley's been racing with us for quite a while. Heading up and over the 4-Wheel Parts little rock section, made very quick work, so this is going to be a pretty good time.
Yeah, Miles, he's looking very fast as he ponds on round the bottom edge of short bus now. Jeff McKinley showing us what this solid axle 4400 class car can do. But I'm really excited about the next car off the line. The next car off the line is a guy from Europe, a guy I know very well, Inaki Lanzagorta, and he's running in Casey Curry's old solid axle car. As we watch Jeff McKinley coming down through short bus. That IFS vehicle making short works of those big rocks. And just look at the way he's attacking.
And I believe that's a brand new Jimmy's chassis, a 2-seat IFS, very similar to what Lauren Healy and Nick Nelson are running. And do you know this next guy, Jim?
Yeah, this is Inaki Lanzagorta, straight out of Spain. Inaki is a fantastic winch challenge competitor, won many top events all the way across Europe. But in the last couple of years, he's moved over to Ultra 4, and he's been using a WSR built buggy. But this year, he's bought Casey Curry's old car, and it's going to be very interesting to see what he can do as he charges off the line.
This is a Campbell chassis, 2 seats,
car was built by Savvy Off-Road for the Currys. And it's always very reliable.
And it's a solid axle machine, so it'll be interesting to see how he can put up against the fast guys in the desert with the IFS.
Yeah, we've got a strong contingent over here from Europe this year.
Yeah, explain that a little bit, Jim. Dave Cole brought over some of the top names from over where you're at.
Absolutely. On the last race of the year of 2018, Dave Cole came over, and on the finish line he said to a lot of the guys, hey, do you want to come to Hammers? And he's made it happen for so many of these guys. We've got 5 cars over here from Europe. We've got Danny Roger, we've got Nicholas Montador, we've got Neville Kintair, we've got Michael Hanover from Israel as well. And it's fantastic to see all of these blokes here and racing. But this is a Naki out on course at the moment. And he's doing a great job, he's looking smooth.
Looks like Jeff McKinley has made it across the line. We're still waiting on some official times. This is qualifying for the 2019 Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by Optima batteries. We'll be live all day long, bringing you the action.
Gonna watch Inaki coming up over the top of Short Bus very shortly. And he's got a good time. Keeping it nice and smooth, using that solid axle car to all its advantages. But let's not forget, he's never raced here before.
And
as Cody Addington blazes from the line.
I suspect a very good time out of Cody. He's going to push very hard. He wants to prove that he does belong to be here with the big guys, which he already has last season in the whole series. He did very well, but he wants to really do well at King of the Hammers this year. I was chatting with him in his pit quite a bit, and he's got this car as race prepped as he's ever had it. Cody Addington bringing on some new sponsors. Cool to see him doing so well here with us in Ultra 4.
And let's not forget, he qualified first in Reno on the short course, proving that he is a short course specialist. So it's going to be really exciting to see his times. He lost that suspension, working flat out on Red Dragon.
Cody Addington pushing hard there. He's hitting up the 4-wheel parts rock section. We'll see. He just hops and skips. Cody Addington is throwing down one heck of a run. I suspect this will be the quick time of the morning, and we'll see how long it holds up as long as he keeps everything smooth. He's teamed up with Miramon Motorsports. They've been pitting together. I was in their tent chatting with them, and they're just having a lot of fun this year and expect to see some great things out of Cody and Eric.
Let's watch Cody Addington heading up round the back. Just to let you all know, as soon as we have the times, we will let you have them.
He should be popping over Short Bus as he does get a little bit of air. Cody Addington is absolutely moving. I believe that's 427 of Jason Waits. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
that is
Cody
the
Addington.
original UFO by our OG King. He built that car and just took over this year.
As we wait for Cody Addington to come back down through the Jeep arch, we'll get a chance to see what his time is. And as soon as we have times, we will get them to you. And here comes Cody heading for the line now.
Jason Waits off the line with Black Sheep Racing, 2C IFS chassis. Cody Addington just coming into town, and we'll get his time as soon as we can. But there's a lot of action this morning here in Hammertown.
Okay, we're just getting confirmation coming through now. Confirmation coming through now that Cody Addington. Yeah, just getting confirmation now that Cody Addington threw down a 2-minute 25-second run That's blisteringly fast.
That is exactly the number I was guessing earlier this morning, so we'll see how long that holds up. I'll bet you it's going to hold up for a while. So that shaves off 12 seconds off of Casey Gilbert. Cody Addington was really moving this morning.
Yeah, let's not forget a different style of car. It's an IFS car, so independent front suspension. It's running a 40-inch sticky tyre. And, of course, it's got Cody Addington behind the wheel.
Still very impressed by Cody Addington this morning in the orange dragon he's calling it nowadays. How long do you think that time's going to hold up, Jim?
We were talking about this earlier. We were saying how Paul Herschel laid down a really fast time this time last year. And I think it's going to be the similar situation for Cody. We know he's incredibly fast at qualifying, and he'll be coming back off of that run. He'll be thinking, okay, guys, go catch me. Because that is exactly what he wants. He had a clear course. The course is nice and clean. The course workers have been working all night to make sure they've ironed out all those bends. It's the best it's ever going to be. So I think Cody's time could stand for most of the day.
He had such a great run out there. We'll see how much more action we'll have today. It's going to be a fun, long day of qualifying for the 4400 class for the 2019 Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by Optima battery. There's a lot of money on the line on Friday's race. Been a fun morning already. Cody Addington just threw that fast time of 2:25, and you had a little trouble getting here. How much traffic is there coming into Hammertown?
Well, I'd say it's probably 50-50. There's a little bit of traffic. There's a bunch of guys showing up here, obviously, later in the week for the race. It may have also been I stayed up a little late last night after that shootout, the action with some of my Southern boys. But, yeah, I'm here now for qualifying. Thanks, you guys, for kicking it off. It's going to be a great day. But, yeah, there's no question that there are tons of people still showing up here on the lake bed. No questions asked.
So it's been a lot of fun so far. I'll be back for Power Hour, so be sure to stay tuned in all day long. Power Hour kicks off at 4 p.m. I'm Miles Haskell. I'm going to take a little step back, but I'll see you guys later this afternoon. Ian, Jim, you guys have fun with it today.
Thank you very much, Miles. We'll see you later on today for Power Hour. And Ian, how we doing? Good to see you, bud.
I'm doing great, man. Yeah, sort of I was late, but I'm here now. Good to have Miles step in, take over for me. But here we are, a little bit of qualifying. We've got a few cars down. We've been listening to you on the way in the car. Sounds great so far. So fast time. You think it's going to hold, do you?
Oh, mate, I'm absolutely stoked for Cody. I think he's laid down something that the others are going to really push hard to beat. So But we were watching all day yesterday, watching the 4500s, 4600s and 4800s during qualifying. And it's the difference between the 44s and those other classes, it's still night and day.
Absolutely. You know, one thing that we will notice today, and it's one thing that I wanted to talk to you about for sure during qualifying, you know, the conversation always comes up during King of the Hammers. Is it a solid axle course or is it an IFS course? You know, because as we know, and those of you listening at home may not know, the course changes every single year. It's not the same racetrack. And not necessarily just to change the terrain, but the actual trails you run and the desert loops that you have to run. So the question is this an IFS-friendly qualifying lap? Are we going to see really fast IFS cars? Or will a solid axle car be able to come in, hang up, lay down a big number?
It's worth noting that we see more and more IFS cars come to the lake bed each year. So there's fewer and fewer solid axle cars to make that comparison with. But the honest answer is, Ian, and we both know this, the only way we're going to find out is let's get to race day and let's see who crosses that line first.
Absolutely. You know, it is true. It was probably as early as 5 years ago that the rumor, you know, you thought there's no way an IFS car can finish this race. You know, just the technology wasn't there. But now it is a common occurrence. IFS cars laying down amazing times.
As we watch Randy Watson heading out onto the short course now. We've already seen one rollover out here this morning. Now, Ian, we were saying yesterday, you were saying you can't believe there wasn't any rollovers in the short course. And then boom, first car today in 4400 sticks it on its side.
Well, I think a lot of that just has to do with how much faster these 4400 cars are versus the ones we were watching yesterday. Just look at that qualifying time, 20 some odd seconds faster than our leader yesterday.
12 seconds faster, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the speed that these cars are traveling at just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. So to push it hard through that short course right first thing in the morning, you know, it could happen.
Yeah, indeed. And yesterday we were talking about flow, we were talking about transition and how these cars react. And we also saw a lot of the other class of vehicles slowing down before the rocks, changing to low ratio. That's something that we're not going to see a great deal of today in the 4400 class cars.
Yeah, absolutely not. I think you'll find with most of these 4400 guys who understand this one particular rock section that we've been watching for days is they know that they've built that car to hit that particular size of rock at speed in high range. They know they have to use low range when you're further out on the bigger rock trails. So they'll come in on that rock, hit it with a good amount of momentum, just get that little kick that we've been watching them all do where the front end comes up and it pivots the car around, drops that front end back down, and they'll just keep going. That will be what the fast cars do all day today.
Absolutely. Now, this particular section of the course really intrigues me. We saw a lot of cars bleeding away speed here. It's very, very different to transition. You can see it's all off camber, and I think that's going to be a key area as to where you get a fast time.
I think that's also where we're going to see a lot of difference between an IFS car and a solid axle car. You know, the IFS car is able to handle those off-camber situations a lot better because those wheels are moving independently of each other. Those solid axle cars tend to transmit a lot of that body roll into the body, gets the car a little bit more off-camber. Whether it actually physically slows the car down or actually slows the driver down a little bit, that's sort of 50% of each one.
Okay, and waiting on the line, getting ready to go now is Dan Fresh out of the Savvy Off-Road Garage. We saw Dan Fresh yesterday in Power Hour for EMC. Let's not forget he was last year's EMC winner. Very talented man indeed, and he's going to be driving in the EMC class in the unbeaten Jeep, and then he's going to be stepping into the main dance in this Savvy bomber car on Friday.
And that's a lot to ask. You know, that's a lot of seat time in a very abusive race. You know, EMC is not an easy course to run, no matter how well prepped the car is, and then to step out and get in a 4400 car, that's just hard work. It's physically hard on you.
Yeah, it's a very tough thing to do. A few years ago now I did exactly that. I did EMC and then the following day went out into KOH, and it beats you up and it batters you. And the course becomes more difficult on the KOH day because so many cars have been on track. They dig out all that soft sand out of the ruts, and it makes it even harder on the suspension. So you spend all that time tuning your car for ruts that have got sand in the bottom, and all of a sudden there's no sand in the bottom, and it becomes very, very tough on you physically and on the car.
Well, that also changes for the drivers too. These drivers have been out here, the top guys have been out here for 3-4 days pre-running these courses, running all the rock trails, running the desert section. Then they're essentially thrown off the course for the few days before the actual race when there's guys out beating up that course and changing that terrain, and you have to go out there and you're going to have to adjust on the fly while you're driving the car on the race day.
Okay, so we watched Dan Fresh here. Now, we saw this exact same car roll in that position last year with Jesse Combs behind the wheel, but no such troubles for Dan, and he really smoked it around there, Ian. This looks really fast.
Yeah, I know. After that heartbreaking loss, or sort of DNF from Jesse last year, her and I talked a lot about that, and a lot of that, just the car was prepped, but maybe not prepped enough. It just didn't have what it needed to get through race day. It was a well-built bomber car, but it was a seasoned car, we'll call it. Spent a lot of time on these rock trails, and that beats these cars up. I know the Savvy crew went through this car front to back, prepped it 100% for this race, and they're super excited about having it out on course.
Yeah, Savvy, of course, has such a fantastic record in the EMC races. And transitioning over to 4400 is fantastic to see. We watched Dan, and he is looking very fast here. This is a solid axle bomber, of course, so it's going to be very interesting to see what kind of time he can lay down. Is he going to be as fast?
I would love to see a solid axle car lay down a fast time. I love seeing solid axle cars work well out here. I love the technology of the IFS. I think it's amazing. But for me personally, when you see a solid axle car out here doing well, it just sort of gives hope to all those privateers out here who are building in their own garage, build a solid axle car.
Now
he's just flying down that backside.
1 minute 30 as he comes over the top of Short Bus, and he's taking no prisoners coming down the far side. Great wheel control here from Dan Fresh. Just gets a bad kick there. Guides the bomb around very nicely, but loses a couple of seconds. But look at this, heading down towards the Jeep arch, and he's only at 2 minutes. This is fast, Ian.
He's flying. He's flying. That is one thing. If you're ever looking for a fast solid axle car, you always look for the bomber cars or the Miller cars. Those two have got that formula figured out, and they can move through the desert.
This is looking good. I don't think he's going to trouble Cody Addington, but it is going to be a very fast time indeed. Our fastest qualifier today, Cody Addington in the Orange Dragon, with a 2:25 as Dan Fresh reaches for the line and comes home in Hammertown. That's a fantastic round there from Dan Fresh.
All right, well, we're just starting off our qualifying for the 4400 for the Nitto 2019 King of the Hammers powered by Optima. We're going to take a quick little break now from the action. We'll be back shortly with even more qualifying.